I'm not going to try and explain how to find this place. Struggle with it myself, but it's Quarry Road you're looking for this walk. It's at the end of Quarry Road, so the gates and everything here are a good indicator. It's technically a dead end, and look out to the left and the car park is there. So if you get down to this point, park to the left, and then the walk starts over on the right hand side. Another part of the Southwest Walk, and Sam's Loop. Oh, which way will we go? I want the sun behind me, and if I come back the other way, we better do the reverse direction. They're huge. Now where are we? There goes that. That's some gates down there. And all else fails, look for the signs. But I wonder what happens if it went up in flames. I wouldn't want to be here when that happens. And the argument is just escape down to the beach. How would you do that? Well, I never envisaged myself standing underneath one of these things. Yeah, 22 kV, well, I know the output now. Why is it the moment you turn the camera off, things suddenly start to get a little bit more interesting, or perspective anyway? Cape Nelson in the distance. Might be able to see the other lighthouse out there. I forgot to say, we're on the tip of Cape Grant. Cape Nelson over there, and then further over, out of sight, is Cape Bridgewater. And we're going to be walking around coastline over to there somewhere, and then come back inland. All around there, all around the other side. Cape Bridgewater Bay, Cape Bridgewater, Discovery Bay, over towards the South Australian border, Nelson, and then inland Glenelg River, and through many kilometres of bush. back to Portland. Some 250 odd kilometres. Look at all this stuff. Got my curiosity, just a little bit of a detour, the limestone rock. And the blades of the wind turbine flashing over us. Don't stand too close to the edge, I've got the wind behind me. The interesting aspect around the southwest and getting away from more urban areas, the tendency to have so many barriers and restrictions, and I presume there's an expectation that you use your brains. It's August and the sun is quite high in the north, so even though we're moving towards mid-morning, the angle of the light is not the best for picking up the sea cliffs, etc., except highlighting a few points. I'll just call it artistic license. Unlike the seal colony walk, there's not that sense of remoteness here. The wind turbines break that. Now we're descending. Well, it's stating the obvious, isn't it? Look at that, look out over there. Ooh, a little bit of a spot to stand and look. And no, I'm not going to go any further. One good gust of wind and I'll be down there demonstrating 9.8 metres per second. Yeah, that dry area down there, a lot of this country behind the sand dunes is quite swampy and fresh water, but everything's so dry. It's just been very, very dry winter and spring. You see, there was a news report that said it's been the driest here since 1967. To Quarry Gate via Great Southwest Walk, and yes, I am going against the arrow to have the sun behind me. What's this? To Quarry Gate via Sam's Loop. Hopefully that's just a short linking track, or I'm about to go on a wild goose chase. a spot to sit and just watch the waves. Good morning, how are you? I've come to another junction with a track going off to the right. I'd better make sure where I am. Right, I'm happier now. That's the direction I've just come from, and this track is a short one, goes up that rise, just over the other side it rejoins the walking track as part of a big loop. So that's the second shortcut. So I know where I am, I'm happy now. Onwards we go. Something you don't see much sort of down here, aircraft. Sort of adds to that dystopian end of the world sort of feel to the place, which I like, with very little aviation. Even the big jets and that with the condensation trails are quite rare. Cape Nelson. Coastline looking back. Again, it's splash. Saw some earlier there, a whole bunch of them, a dozen or more, all diving into the water. This is the wrong camera, we're trying to do this. Got to be careful where you stand. No closer. There's a lot of gannets out there. They're all the way along the coast in that here. Look at them diving in. I've got to stand back from this edge here because the wind's pushing at me from behind quite dramatically. Okay, now I've officially reached the end of Sam's Loop. I'll go just a little bit further just to see what's there. There's another rise. Just go up there and have a look. Ooh, that was worthwhile, just having a little extra look. Nelson Bay. Nice place to sit, which we shall take advantage of. Looking that way, there's a tourist drive that runs along the coastline there around to Cape Nelson and the lighthouse, Enchanted Forest, Yellow Rock, and there's a few other more tourist oriented places. So I'll just go this way a little bit and just see what we can capture. I just don't think there's any interest in going that direction, so we'll stay on the coast. Rightio, coming back to Quarry Road. It's just as a bit of a reminder if anyone wants to find a place. Description is tricky, so just look for Quarry Road, Cape Grant. The gates are a good indication there. Well, you can't go any further, can you? And there's a loop type car park. So I'll just bore you for a few more seconds and just show you where the car park is. Always much easier and less stressful than stuffing about trying to work something out. A modern vehicle and my old dinosaur.